Minneapolis Miracle, man. The Stephon Diggs helmet chuck might be one of the most iconic moments in recent football history. Let's break down the end of that game. Alright, guys, what's good? We got the Saints versus the Vikings. Minneapolis Miracle. Everybody remembers this, the last play. We're going to go ahead and react to this today. This is the full game footage, so I'm just going to fast forward probably to like the last little bit here and watch the ending. But I just want to capture the vibe real quick. I'm going to let it play. All right?
Well, it's going to be warm and loud inside this building today. Both sidelines are covered. Chris and Aaron, thank you. Spanish language broadcast available on both Fox Deportes and by utilizing SAP in our
I mean, like, this is electric, am I right? Even just watching this at home, the Fox broadcast, you got like a, whatever you got going on, hot chocolate, whatever it is, next to like the fireplace, you're watching football. Can't beat that. And the broadcast is so football, man. I mean, just look at this.
Broadcast, the great John Randall hits the button on the horn, and off we go after the Skol chants. Vikings won the toss, they deferred. We'll see Breeze. Off we go in the divisional playoff game. Kamara, take a knee.
I mean, this is peak, dog. Playoff football, like, oh my God, come on, man. This is like, you're getting ramped up towards like real. I mean, this is the playoffs. It is real. This is the realest thing there is. But obviously, the divisional round. I think once you get to the conference championship, that's when it's like super. That's like peak. You know. But anyway, let's go ahead and fast forward on to the fourth. Okay, we got 3 minutes left. Let's just pick it up right here, around here. Okay.
Here on slants, and he's going to run that route there. He's one-on-one on Kendricks, and it's not bad coverage. I mean, honestly, but it takes a perfect throw.
Yeah, the throw there needed to be a little bit over the shoulder, a little bit more over the shoulder. He had space in the end zone. He could have dropped it in the bucket a little more. Alvin Kamara chose to go up for it. I think he had enough of a step that there would have been no chance for the linebacker to keep up with him there, Alvin Kamara. Alvin Kamara, of course, great with yards after the catch. I haven't watched enough tape to pass judgment on his like ability to catch the ball, run routes like a true receiver. But he was a great running back out of the backfield, a good receiver. Whether that be catching it in the flat and turning it up versus actually running routes, catching it over his shoulder and stuff. I don't know what his habits were like. I would have had to look into that more. But look, you got a field goal now. All right, so we're gonna watch it from here and kind of just break down what I think about this game, what people should have done, whether there were good decisions, coaching wise, bad decisions, game management, players. We'll talk about everything. Okay, 20-20 field goal. 3 minutes left. Knock that down. That's good. Oh, they did score. I'm tripping.
Here on slants, and he's going to run that route there. He's one-on-one on Kendricks, and it's not bad coverage. I mean, honestly,
that's great.
it takes a perfect throw.
And it looks like that was on third down. Let me make sure I got that right.
From down 17-0.
The gold crowns are fucking crazy, bro. The grills.
20-20 with the extra point coming. Pretty simple route combination. They go trips. They run the outside guys on slants. They got Alvin Kamara inside here on slants, and he's going to run that route there.
It was first down. Okay, according to the sticks.
On Kendricks, and it's not bad coverage. I mean, honestly, but it takes a.
That's tough. Big score. I still think that could have been an over-the-shoulder ball, and I think that could have functioned as an over-the-shoulder ball. Drew Brees, obviously one of the most accurate quarterbacks of all time. But, Kamara went up and got it, and he scored, so he got it done. And I want to just call attention to this, okay? Saints, Vikings, divisional round of the playoffs, 3 minutes left in the game, you're down 7. You're down 6. That is a monumental score right there, okay? Huge score.
Brees had himself a heck of a second half. Lutz puts New Orleans on top for the first time today.
Knocks it down, okay? And now the Vikings are down by 1 with the ball.
What a comeback with 3:01 left. Let's go back to it. When you got man
man like that, and you've got a receiver slash running back with the skills of Alvin Kamara on a linebacker as good as Eric Kendricks is, and as well as.
And Drew Brees has this, like, the accuracy is unbelievable, man. Because what he does, they teach you not to place the ball. Like, you're not supposed to be trying to place it. You got to finish through the throw, right? But he's, like, placing the ball. When you watch him throw it, it feels like he's actually just placing it. Like, look at him come off his back foot, right? I mean, yeah, he's finishing the throw, but I mean, just the accuracy, that is unbelievable, man. That's a tough throw. And he placed that well. Kamara could have gone over the shoulder. And look, he got a linebacker on him. He caught the touchdown. I'm nitpicking here, but as a habit, I feel like a player should probably catch it over the shoulder there. Just because if you do have a better defender who's going to get in phase with you and then punch it out on the way down when you're coming down, some good DBs are very good at that. So you're going to catch it over the top when you could have caught it over the shoulder, and now that guy, as you're bringing it to your body, is going to punch it.
Special teams got the block punt.
Now this is good stuff, right? 3 minutes left. It feels like almost like a 2-for-1. Obviously 2-for-1 is not a thing in football, but these days the way offenses are able to move down the field, with 3 minutes left, back when I was growing up, when I was playing in middle school and high school, this would have been the last drive, right? You're trying to get it. This is the last drive. That's it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Most likely, this is going to be the last opportunity anybody gets. The Vikings either score here or they don't, and the game is over. In this era, this is like, you can go down, get a quick one, and then the other team can go down, and then you might even get a last chance for like 20 seconds left.
And then Drew Brees, the vet, with his 13th career postseason start, 7-5 overall, 1-4.
Now, obviously, it doesn't translate directly. It's not going to operate as if it's a real 2-for-1, because the other team can dictate whether or not you get the ball back. There's no shot clock. There's nothing preventing you from keeping the ball the entire time. But as an analogy, it kind of works. It makes sense. You know what I'm saying. Obviously, it's not like a literal translation.
On the road, and I don't know, Millie is talking to Commissioner Roger Goodell, and maybe if the Vikings extend their run, she'll be here for Super Bowl 52, but there's going to have to be work done now by Case Keenum, Troy. But what a story that would be. What a story he is. Alvin Kamara, who joins Gale Sayers in 1965, is the only other rookie to have 5 or more rushing touchdowns, 5 or more receiving touchdowns, and a kick return for a touchdown. He's just a dynamic athlete, and they went right to him.
He's a great, great player, and the things that he's able to do.
Look at that. I mean, barely any wobble on that.
Watching him this year, he's a great runner,
I mean,
but
Drew Brees is really just a dot machine, man. It was. I mean, this is the type of guys I grew up watching. So.
Things as a receiver, not so much on that play, but other things within routes that you just simply do not see from young players. He's terrific, and hats off to Mickey Loomis and Jeff Ireland for the draft class, including Alvin.
Is this Case Keenum? Case Keenum was in his starter era at this time, man. He was not. He was like a career journeyman guy, but I think he was getting a lot of props as like the guy here for this season, and he played well. Obviously, had them in the divisional round.
Kamara this year.
It's all out in front of this offense for the Vikings. Pass is caught over the middle by the tight end Rudolph.
Honestly, I said that the conference championship was peak. I think wild card weekend is like peak. That's like when the most teams are still involved, but there are high stakes. Like wild card weekend is fucking electric, man. Divisional round's cool, but at that point you're starting to narrow down. Like a lot of fans have dropped off, and there's not as much involvement in the football season. Like my Commanders are out of it sometimes. I'm just like, you know what? I'll watch the Super Bowl. Not really. Obviously, I'm still watching football. Like, but it's just the investment's not there. I might get up and go run to the store and get a beer or something like that in the middle of the second quarter. I would never do that if my team was playing, right? You get the idea.
Gain of just 4.
Well, Case Keenum, this is what you've been living for. And the opportunity to show that you belong, and there's a lot of things working in your favor. You got the clock in your favor. You've got 3 timeouts, and just execute the offense the way you have all year.
2nd and 6. The screen isn't there. Keenum gets loose. Good effort, but short.
Now, that's a great quarterback play. I just want to make sure that we credit this, because a lot of the time when quarterbacks do shit like this is a great quarterback play, right? Like, let's watch this again.
The opportunity to show that you belong, and there's a lot of things working in your favor. You got the clock in your favor. You've got 3 timeouts, and just execute the offense the way you have all year.
Okay. Right, step up in the pocket, conflict climb as they call it. You have your tailback providing a second, I mean, this is a deep drop. And to let this guy around, bend the corner like that, it's not good. So, great job sensing it. He doesn't have eyes on it, right? Nobody's really open. I mean, you could theoretically hit 17. Good block. I mean, just a good play. Like, at the end of the day, it's not a 75-yard run or a dot that scores a touchdown, but you have turned what would have been a sack into positive yardage. That's huge. Guys, on 2nd and 6, think about it. It's 3rd and fucking 15 versus 3rd and 2. Big difference. When you're talking about football as a possession game and how that affects your possession and the drive, it's monumental, man. Monumental.
First down by a yard, but Keenum avoided a sack. As Manti Te'o is there for the stop, a yard short of the first down.
They went a period during the regular season where, he didn't get sacked hardly at all. And then the last part of the year, he was getting hit a lot, and he has saved this offensive line a few times.
Handoff for the first down to McKinnon. And we are at the 2-minute warning. A game that can't get much better. Vikings with the ball down by 1.
See, and the way they're playing this drive, they're not rushing it. They're trying to control it and run the clock out, which is good. A lot of the times now, in this type of situation, I couldn't even blame a coach if they were the Saints and it was like, hey, look, we're just going to play soft coverage and let them get in there and kind of let them score. Obviously, I think until they cross midfield and get into field goal range, you're trying to keep them out of field goal range. But if they get in there, you might start giving up a touchdown. Like, just do it. People do that a lot these days.
2 minutes left.
Get the ball back and have control of the game as opposed to let them control it. If you don't trust your defense, I mean, it's hard to trust your defense with the rules these days, right? It's hard to trust your defense to control the game the way you could back in the day. You can't control your game with the defense. You can mitigate their control for the game still, but,
See the career-long field goal for Kai Forbath. Different
Kai Forbath, ex-Skin.
circumstances, no doubt. Talked to Mike Zimmer. He said about the 35-yard line is where I feel good with Forbath. That's about 30 yards away. Him out of the shotgun. First down. Throws it away.
Again, great. I mean, that's a B-plus quarterback play right there. Sense the pressure, step up, throw it in the dirt. I mean, that's huge. That is, he's got a great. I'm realizing as I watch Case Keenum, I've never really watched him, in a dedicated fashion, but he's got some good sense and awareness in the pocket. Like almost compare him to Brady in that sense.
In essence.
Now that's obviously he's not there all the way just off of 2 plays, but he does a good job.
All right, I know Vikings fans don't want to see this and they'll blame me, but there's no time like the present to change the narrative. Opportunity maybe. The 98 NFC Champ game against Atlanta. Gary Anderson missing what could have been an icing 38-yard field goal. They went on to lose that game. And then the one 2 years ago in 2015, Blair Walsh wide left from 27 yards.
Wide left was crazy. That was a crazy season.
Yards away in the loss against Seattle in the wild card round.
And those are just
10-9 finish in the wild card round. I love that.
the kicks.
That was a possession game probably.
They've had some other
There was probably a strategic emphasis in that game.
devastating losses over the years in other ways.
Low snap. Keenum throws it. Flag.
Oh my God. Oh my God. What?
Up for grabs and Thielen with a catch of a lifetime. Flags are down.
I think they were going to get the flag on Lattimore anyway right there, but they're going to get a lot more.
Instead of a 5-yard holding penalty, they're going to get
Yeah, Case Keenum off-platform throws. Okay, man.
this completion, it looks like.
How good is
That was completely unnecessary. He could have just stood in there and threw that thing, but hey, look, if you're going to make the fucking play, fucking make the play. And that's a hell of a play by Thielen, too.
this guy?
Unbelievable.
He comes into the league as an undrafted free agent, and just over
There are
the
2
years,
fouls against the defense. Prior to the pass holding, defense number 23.
The connection with a K. If you know what I'm saying.
That penalty is declined. We also have pass interference defense, number 23.
I'm kidding. It's because they're white. You get it in K. All right.
That is also declined, and the result of the play is a completed catch and a first down.
it's really
It's a hell of a play, though. That was fucking lit.
phenomenal. This guy comes into the Vikings as an undrafted free agent, as you said earlier in this ball game, and not a lot expected out of him, and he just continued to work his tail off each and every day, and has turned himself into an all-pro wide receiver. He's going against one of the best corners in football, Marshawn Lattimore, Pro Bowl
Tough. I mean, he beat him on the slant inside. I don't know if that was a designed route or play broke down. I mean,
player, and
there's probably an option.
makes one heck of a catch.
Unbelievable. 24-yard.
Guy, I was saying Case Keenum has great pocket awareness, but he does seem to have happy feet. He gets a little jittery, and he has like a clock, obviously. But like once he's you can tell that he kind of not loses poise, but he loses his composure and starts going once his clock runs down. Even if there's no pressure, even if the O-line has held up. So that's, I mean, is that a flaw? I don't know. Probably is good to prevent sacks in general, but then you might not make the best decisions later into the play. At the same time, he just delivered on an off-platform dot.
Catch. It'd be a 58-yard try from here. So they're
I compared him to Brady. Brady would just sit there for 10 seconds if he had it
edging into field goal range.
and stay poised the entire time.
Pass incomplete. Thielen the target again, and Lattimore was defending again at 2nd and 10.
Now, this is where Case Keenum, he's got to be real smart about this and understand where he needs to get to, and he cannot take a sack. And then on the other side of this is the 2 challenges by Sean Payton leaves him just 1 timeout.
2nd down and 10.
I know you said the 35-yard line, Joe, but he can get to the 39. I mean, right on the range now for Forbath. They don't really need any more.
Blitz coming off the edge. Pass is caught by Rudolph, and there's
It's extremely tough to guard. That's a tough play to cover.
near the 35. Catch is made. Gain of 5. 3rd and 5.
Now here's the deal. So now they're out of the clock stops.
Because look, you got the secondary player going. Unless you're playing a zone where he's hammering down the flat,
I would get
and you got a linebacker trying to keep up with the tight end, and he's got to give him respect. Because what if he goes vertical, right? It's tough,
run the ball, but if they go
and you can pick up 4 to 5 yards. I mean, obviously you're not scoring a touchdown on that play, but
for it and pick up the first down, they can run this thing down, and not leave any time left. But do they want to risk knocking themselves out of range?
Camp throws it up for grabs again, and it's incomplete. Rudolph the target.
not a bad decision. I mean, in this situation, you don't want to take a sack there. That's for sure.
And it's 4th down. That was a dangerous throw again.
Yeah, it was, and yet you got to realize, as I said, that you got to get the ball out, and you just
Pushed off for sure.
can't take a sack.
It is that could have been a pick, but I don't blame him for throwing a jump ball to the tight end on 3rd down, play breaking down. He's outside the pocket. He loves throwing off his right foot.
So,
Like I'm talking about off platform, just chucking it up,
yeah, close,
kind of that jump pass.
but they give Forbath an opportunity. Assuming
I mean, I don't hate it, you know what I mean? But there's like, I think that's not technically sound, but it doesn't really matter, right? If he gets the ball there and habitually he's able to do that, then let him do it, right? Look at Mahomes, right? Look at Mahomes. He does whatever the fuck he wants and gets the ball where it needs to be. So
he makes this, they're going to leave time on the clock for Drew Brees as well.
It'll be a 53-yard try.
See, but this is where you justify taking the 53-yard attempt. You have 3 timeouts left and a minute and a half left. That's where that 2-for-1 mentality comes in. Because now if you can prevent the Saints from, getting in their bag, getting downfield, and just, holding the ball all day, then you're going to get the ball back, right? So...
Second NFL game for the guy snapping a Jeff Overball. This for the lead. Forbath. He got it.
Now, great. Big field goal. 53-yard field goal is not easy to hit, and he's got the bucket on, which is just insane. But, 53-yard field goal in this moment is a big, big kick by Kai Forbath. Now what you have is you're going to have the Saints getting the ball back with about 90 seconds left, right? You have 3 timeouts left as a defense. They have 1. Your goal is to keep them out of field goal range, obviously, first, okay? That's the first thing. But if they, and actually what ends up happening is probably the worst thing that can happen for the Vikings. The clock runs down and they do get to field goal range and they hit it. And then we have a miracle ensuing. But, this is a situation where basically you need to stop them from getting a first down and you win the game. If they get a first down, then you have to stop them from getting into field goal range. And that's the whole game. The thought to go for it here would not be terrible because if you think about it, 90 seconds left is plenty of time for Drew Brees, who is a legend, right, to get down the field and make something happen and probably burn your timeouts in the process and then control his own destiny, control their own destiny, the Saints, in this game. So going forward on 4th and 5 in no man's land right there and saying, fuck it, that's not terrible because, look, if the Saints get the ball up 1, what's the difference, right? At least now you can stop. You need to stop them. It's a crucial stop, but you might get the ball back sooner because, they might just play it safe at that point. So it's this whole chess game. It's all this mental back and forth. But these are both defensible decisions. Going for it, 4th and 5 there with a minute and a half left, you're down. You could kick the field goal, but it's a long field goal. You go for it. You potentially get it, run the clock down, and then win the game right there outright. Or you risk them getting the ball back, and chances are they're gonna be playing it safe. You might get the ball back anyway, or you might lose. If you take the field goal right now, they control the game. So it's either way, but you take the lead, right? So it's trade-off.
Splits the uprights with it, and that's Kai Forbath. You see Case Keenum and his reaction, and of course Adam Thielen makes the great catch. But what a job by Case Keenum in that situation, and you're down, and you got to come down and get some points to retake the lead. And now, with plenty of time, this defense that we have bragged on all year long and throughout this game, will they be able to make a play?
It'll be the number 2 offense against the number 1 defense. With a trip to the NFC Championship game on the line. Forbath. Kamara will take a knee. Troy, I think both head coaches have what they want. Game's on the line. Drew Brees on the field for Sean Payton. And this defense on the field for Mike Zimmer of Minnesota.
And that's fair enough. If you're Mike Zimmer, yeah, fair. Given the personnel and everything, you might want the defense on the field. And Zimmer's a defensive coach.
I think you're right. I think if you asked each of these coaches, with the game on the line, what units do you want on the field? There's no question Sean Payton would say, I want the game in Drew Brees' hands.
Was Zimmer a defensive coach? I think he was, if I'm remembering correctly. It's been a while, and he was, he wasn't in the division that I follow.
He's been coaching this defense since he got here 4 years ago. They're one of the best, if not the best, in football and have been for a few years, and it is game on.
What a second half for Drew Brees.
Bro, just imagine the feeling. I've coached before, man, so I can only imagine Zimmer's, man, the adrenaline, just the fucking hype at this moment. Because you're a defensive coach. If you're a defensive guy, you got your squad out there, and it's game time, bro. It's the playoffs. It's let's go. We you know what I mean? My guys are going to win. You know, like I know I'm gonna fucking nail every call right here and just kill, and we're winning. That's, you know what I mean? Like, the feel in your chest, it's unbeatable, man. This shit is just, I mean, this is fucking amazing. This is what you live for as a competitor, really.
23-21 Vikings. Here we go. Rays floats it. Thomas incomplete.
They were calling this guy Slant Boy. That wasn't a, I don't know.
Only team to overcome a 17-point deficit in the
See the
final
replay.
17 minutes of a playoff game to win. The New England Patriots.
It's a tough adjustment to make, but some guys in that air probably would. I think Julio Jones makes that catch potentially.
In last year's Super Bowl. That's what Drew Brees and the Saints are trying to do. Down at 1 point, 17-0, now down by 2.
Well, they better block up 97, Everson Griffin, because these tackles with this noise are going to have a problem. Here he is on the edge.
With Daniil Hunter on the other side. Brees underneath. Pass caught. That's the tight end Hill. And the focus will shift to Will
It's a big chunk.
Lutz. The place kicker for the Saints.
You're not calling your timeouts. You got to play soft coverage, right? See, in this situation, though, I don't even know if you play soft coverage. To me, it's like you might as well be aggressive defensively, because if they get you over the top, fuck it, you get the ball back, right? So, I wouldn't mind sending pressure and playing, like, but then you could just get beat. It's a tough, again, all defensible decisions in my opinion. In my opinion, they are. A lot of people would say that I'm crazy. But I think that if you sit back and you just let Drew Brees pick you apart and slowly whittle his way down the field, run the clock out, and do what he ends up doing in this game, which is getting his team in field goal position to win the game and give you 10 seconds left, I think you're crazy. You know what I mean? I think you'd be aggressive here defensively.
Missed from 58 in this game. He hit from 57 last week. That means the 39-yard line of the Vikings.
They were in zone coverage the last play. They go man now.
Brees, pass, caught. Ken. Out of bounds.
I mean, this soft coverage to me is absurd, man. That's an absurdly soft coverage scheme. Like, you're way off, man. You're giving up too much, if you ask me.
Knocking on the door here already at field goal range, a gain of 11.
And it's almost like a tacit agreement between the DC and the OC. It's like, they're shaking on it almost. It's like, okay, look, we're going to play soft coverage. You're going to just take 10 yards each time. You're going to take a chunk. Like, these guys aren't running deep, 7-step drops and shit. They're taking chunks. They're going intermediate. And the defense is giving up intermediate. And it's like, it's almost like a tacit agreement between the two. You know what I mean? And look, it's song and dance, but you got to, unpredictability. Come on, unpredictability is crucial in these situations, if you ask me. And I think blitzing these motherfuckers right here, hit them in the mouth, man. Fuck it, they got to score, right? They have to score. It's not us that has to. We don't have to like back up and be careful. I mean, they got to score. So let's be aggressive. Let's make it very difficult for them to score.
55 seconds left.
Well, Mackenzie Alexander here, he's playing such soft
Think about a sack right here. Imagine what a sack would do, right? And they brought 5
coverage. He's like he didn't quite
with a stunt. I don't hate it.
get the
But the coverage on the back end has to support that. Like, if you're just giving up 5 yards of space like this, then bringing pressure is not going to get there in 2 seconds, right? Like, you gotta give the pressure a chance to get there.
call, so he does.
And if they beat you deep, you're hoping that the pressure gets there before they beat you deep. That's going to take a longer development, which hopefully the pressure, mitigates.
Come up and challenge Ginn. Of course, Ginn is one of these burners. You got to respect that speed as well. But that's why Ginn was as open as he was.
Mitigates is the wrong word. Neutralizes. Hopefully the pressure will neutralize these deep developing routes that could beat you if you're playing aggressive coverage.
Brees, quick throw, pass broken up.
Great coverage. That's great coverage.
Xavier Rhodes with the left arm in front of Thomas.
Big DB.
The All-Pro makes a play.
So this is a fucking massive DB, guys. To be looking at Michael Thomas eye to eye with the length he has and the size,
Heck of a matchup.
and be able to be quick enough to play DB in the NFL, That's a fucking hell of an athlete.
Game and the battles that are going on. That's a great play by the All-Pro Xavier Rhodes. Joe, what are they looking at? They only need about 6-7 yards.
6-7.
In order to give Lutz a shot, and we'll see what Zim, if he wants to try to make Breeze get the ball out quick. But they're playing coverage right now. They're showing a two-man look.
See, and that's great coverage on him, like white on rice. He's not giving up 5 yards of space, and like, you know, now, because now you're in field goal range basically. Your back's to the wall. Why not do this earlier though? And see, that's just a philosophical question. I'm not going to say that Mike Zimmer doesn't know what he's doing. I'm not, you know what I mean? I've done recruiting stuff. I'm not a fucking NFL head coach. But it just makes me wonder why, you know, you look dumb. Yes, if you get cooked deep, you look dumb, but I feel it's a defensible decision. I feel it's a winning decision if you're aggressive at the top of this drive.
Continues.
As a defense, that is.
They had Kamara split out wide to the right. But the throw was for Thomas. There's Will Lutz, second-year pro out of Georgia State, thinking about what might be headed his way.
Well, Mike Zimmer on the last 3 defensive snaps, he's given 3 different.
I feel like as a star receiver at this point of the game, I mean, look, it's hard to have like a true star on the roster when you already have Alvin Kamara and Drew Brees. But I'm looking at this like, should you be able to make this adjustment and the size you are?
Thomas. That battle with Rhodes continues. They had Kamara split out wide to the right. But the throw was for Thomas. There's Will Lutz, second-year pro out of Georgia State, thinking about what might be headed his way.
Well, Mike Zimmer on the last 3 defensive snaps.
I mean, you got very little elevation there, but look, it's a tough adjustment to make. I'm not gonna, but like, you know, we're in Michael Thomas.
He's given 3 different coverages and has not brought.
He was regarded as a star, right? And look, the system. I mean, I'm sure he was really good at cutting it up inside and using his size to you know, catch it in the middle, over the middle, you know, and on slants and stuff like that to keep smaller DBs off of his body and just catch it over them and, you know, through them. But, you know, he was not a dynamic, over-the-top type of receiving threat.
Anything yet?
I'd put him in the Terry McLaurin category. Very good receivers, functional, but you're not going to pay them top money.
3rd and 10. They're showing the safeties wide up here, and the vulnerability of that defense is in the middle.
Pass is incomplete. It was there.
Like, you gotta, as a star, you gotta give me that. Rhodes is dominating this matchup on this drive.
And through the hands of Michael Thomas.
Man, he fucking talks to him. Yeah, hell yeah, bro. You got to at that point. Probably called him a bitch.
Now it's 4th down.
They've tried this route combination 3 times now on this.
Oh, my God. I mean, you gotta come down with that.
They opened up the possession with the same throw. With the
And see, I mean, this is the thing, right?
coverage, trying to get Thomas on a back shoulder fade, and here we go. This is a game.
He's not a back shoulder guy. Yeah, he's a big guy, but he's not a back shoulder fade guy. This is not Julio Jones, you know? It's not Calvin Johnson.
This is the game because they're not in field goal range.
You can use size in a lot of different ways, but that's not his thing.
So that means the Saints have to get 10 yards to have a life. Red line is where they want to go for the field goal try. 4th and 10. Braves pass caught. Snead.
Big play. Snead was tough as a slot guy in his role. You know, he made a lot of plays. And I feel like I'm being very harsh and critical on Michael Thomas. I think Michael Thomas was a great player. I just think that he was a little overstated, but he had a role, man, and he could do, you know, what he needed to do. And I think fantasy is the reason that he was so heralded, right? Because although he has certain deficiencies on film and in terms of his capabilities, he was able to put up numbers, and people saw that, and he was at the top of the fantasy leaderboards. People were like, oh, Michael Thomas. And, that really boosted his expectations beyond what he was capable of. I do think he was a very solid football player, though.
The 33-yard line. And now with 40 seconds left, the conversion, biggest throw of the game by Drew Brees, and it was perfect.
It was perfect, and they played two deep safeties. They got man coverage across, and then you got to just win. If you got the one-on-one, and they're able to get Willie Snead on a 7 route, basically a corner route, and Brees hangs in there. He's got ice running through his veins and delivers a perfect ball.
13 yards on 4th and 10.
Yeah. For real, that boy's cold. It's picking him apart.
Be a 51-yard try from here. Sideline. Ken out of bounds just inside the 30. So they're taking a little bit of the edge off for Wood.
And this is why I don't like the defensive strategy of playing it safe in this situation. With a lead, especially with like a field goal lead, so as I was saying, with a lead, especially like a field goal lead here, I think you got to be aggressive because it's this day and age they're gonna take what you give them and deke and dunk and chunk their way down the field. Deke and dunk I don't like that. That means you're taking the flat routes, the slants, and that type of shit, the hitches. I'm talking about fucking digs settling in between the zone, 15 yards down the field, catch 25 chunks. They're gonna take the chunks, man. You got to be aggressive. Will
Lutz. During the regular season was 31.
And the Saints have executed this perfectly offensively.
36, 13 of 16, 40 to 49 yards, and 4 for 5 from 50 plus.
I've got to believe, I've been expecting to see it. I've got to believe that Mike Zimmer is going to come after him, but still showing coverage.
Blitz here. Pass is caught.
See, like that pressure scheme right there, that could have been used when they were in their own territory,
It's Michael Thomas.
Big play, Michael Thomas with a nice play right here.
And the clock is stopped with 30 seconds left as the Saints use their final timeout.
Reset the game clock to 33 seconds. 33 seconds.
Ooh, that's right.
They're going to put 33 seconds on the clock. It was the Vikings that took the timeout on defense, and that was close. And if there's a review, it will not come from the sideline. It will come from the booth.
Well, they'll take a look at it, and it looked like
I think you get that. At the end of the day, it looks like he pretty much got it,
I didn't think I saw enough there that would suggest it wasn't a catch.
Previous play.
So after a dominant first half by the Vikings, and their only blip was a 49-yard miss by Kai Forbath.
Good song.
The Saints have come roaring back. An interception play.
Man, when Kanye was like up at the top of the leaderboards, man, different time, bro.
A key role delivered by Marcus Williams, the rookie safety. And Sean Payton and Drew Brees, they have the Saints in position to win the game.
Yeah, and what does Sean Payton want to do here? 3rd and short?
You still got the timeout.
Still got a timeout. And if they pick up the first down here, then they're able to run this clock down to nothing. And
So it stood. It looks like.
looks like it's a long one. I'm saying 3rd and 1, but I got to believe Sean Payton's going to keep this ball on the ground.
Kamara in the backfield gets it, carries it, doesn't get anything.
Good decision to run the ball, I think. Because that's the safe decision. You either try to throw it here and let them keep 2 timeouts, risk them keeping 2 timeouts with 30 seconds left, which is too much, right? That's a lot. Honestly, I wouldn't. The thing is, again, in the interest of being aggressive, you might as well throw the ball, right? Because they're going to get the ball back, 1 timeout, 2 timeouts, who fucking cares, right? It's a big deal, but they're going to have the ball with a chance to go score. And you're going to kick a field goal. They only need to get into field goal range, which is not, that's very doable in this era, right? In the era that they're playing in. So if you throw the ball, you might have a better chance of getting that first, but running the ball, you burn their timeout, and of course, that's assuming you don't get it. If you do convert, then you win the game right there, barring a missed field goal.
Lost half a yard. And a timeout is taken by the Vikings. They have 1 left. The Saints have...
See, but the thing is, when I say make aggressive decisions in this situation, that's with very little investment from me. As a coach, when you're sitting here in this situation, you put a whole season, off season, and probably multiple years into building the franchise into getting this position, and you have a divisional round game and it's the end of the game, it's much harder to make an aggressive decision and make a gamble. You know what I mean? Because the investment increases. This is not just a football game to these people, right? To me, watching it sitting here on my fucking chair in my kitchen, making a video, yeah, I mean, it's a football game. Fuck it, bro. Just throw the ball, bro. Just fucking, you know what I mean? But, it's not that simple.
1 left. Let's give you a recap. Sendejo with an early interception. 2 picks in the first half for Drew Brees. Latavius Murray with a touchdown rush. But the Saints started their comeback late in the third quarter. A block punt led to this by Alvin Kamara. A moment ago, a big field goal hit by Kai Forbass of 53 yards for a 2-point lead. It's been a tremendous second half, and now here comes Will Lutz. 29 seconds left. 43-yard try for the lead. Lutz drove it. And the Saints are back on top. And so 25 seconds left. And this game is not over with a timeout remaining for Case Keenum and the Vikings.
Well, that was perfect execution in Lutz. He
Look at the glove on the holder.
delivers it perfectly, just splits the uprights, never a doubt whatsoever. And yeah, there's still time on the clock. They're going to have to give Keenum a little better protection than he has had here on recent possessions. He's been having to run around. They've got to be able to get some chunks at some point with very little time.
That's the third lead change over the last 2 minutes, 36 seconds. And Drew Brees has shown his experience, his brilliance, number 3 in the all-time passing yardage list with over 70,000 yards in his sure-to-be Hall of Fame career. And he and the Saints now lead by 1.
So now there's not really any two ways about it. 25 seconds left, you have a timeout. You're throwing these intermediate to deep balls, trying to get in field goal range. It's that simple. Maybe a screen pass.
So 25 seconds left, starting at the 25. And it's all on Case Keenum and this Minnesota offense to give
Old spitting on the gloves trick.
Kai Forbath another chance.
We'll see what he can
They say that actually fucks your gloves up over the long run, but who gives a fuck? I mean, these guys are NFL players, right? He can buy new gloves anytime he wants, and it's 25 seconds left in the divisional round.
do. We
Fuck those gloves.
talked about it when Brees took the field. Brees against this Minnesota defense. And
Now, look, 0 touchdowns, 1 interception. I'm not going to look too deeply into that. 24 for 37, 238 yards. Can't tell much from just the stats, but completion percentage is okay.
tell you, in today's game, it is hard.
Pretty good. I mean, he looks like he's been doing his job.
It is hard to stop a quarterback like Drew Brees, and when all you need is a field goal to keep that from happening. We'll see if Keenum can work a little magic here.
And now no snap by the center Pat Elflein.
Ball start. Offense number 74. 5-yard penalty.
You know, it's funny when that happens. Now I think they say everybody but the center, or they say something about the center. But, like, obviously it's the center's fault, but some random O-lineman gets blamed for that. Fucking sucks, man. That's funny.
Everybody moved on the line except for Elfline didn't snap it.
Like he's trying to go, you heard him at the line of scrimmage, trying to use a little hard count. Maybe you get a free play and you can take a shot down the field immediately.
It's not the worst thing, right? The first and 10 in this situation, having a false start, it's a mental error. It's not a good sign, but it's not a good omen, right? But it's not like the end of the world. At the end of the day, this probably softens the coverage up even more. And now you have guys who can find their way in between and make a catch, make a play, turn it up. That's honestly better if you soften the coverage up than it is if you were to, have them with their back to the wall. They'd be more aggressive.
Let his own guys move.
First and 15. Pass to Diggs. First down.
Like, you see what I'm talking about? To me, I mean, I understand, right? But as the Saints, are you really just going to live with this? We see it time and time again where the offense has their way in these situations, all across the league. Like, dude, fuck that. I'm playing aggressive. If you ask me, I'm up. Like, I'm maybe cover 2 man, something, bro. Something where I have a guy on each receiver, so they actually got to beat somebody. Like, I'm not just putting everybody in a prevent right now.
They got to use a timeout, I would think.
Think about if you play your regular defense, how hard it is to get that many yards in one play. But you're in this soft coverage, and you're just giving it up. They're just turning around, bending over. You know what I mean? Like, come on, man. I don't like that shit. And that's just a consistent thing that coaches always do, which is defensible. Honestly, I get it. Like I said, the investment is high. You don't want to make a stupid little mistake and lose the game right here off of like a deep bomb or a 9, whatever.
And 17 seconds left. And timeout taken by the Vikings. They're out of timeouts.
Good use of the timeout. You got to use the timeout. A lot of guys might have run up to the line there. I think you used the timeout.
They need 25 yards to give Forbath a chance with 18 ticks remaining. Down by 1.
And either they're going to catch.
Because now, realistically, at this point, what you're doing is you're taking shots. You might have another chance, like 18 seconds, right? I would say, like, you have 2 plays to catch something over the middle and sprint up. Because if you, let's say it takes 4 seconds on the next play, 5 seconds, you have 13 seconds left. Then you have another play that's 4 seconds, 9 seconds. You can run up and get to the line and spike it with 2 seconds left. Hopefully, right? It's tight, but if you practiced it well, you can do that. I would say you go over the middle one more time, and if it's not there, then you're looking for the out routes. But that limits you. So it's a tough situation. It's hard to score in these situations.
Ball and get out of bounds and stop the clock.
But it makes it easier when the defense is sitting on their heels like that.
But if it's inbounds, they either have to get down or score a touchdown. But to get into range for a field goal and with a running clock, you see the green line there where they got to get to. It will be hard to get up there and get set and stop this clock with a running clock.
Pass to the sideline, nothing there.
Now you don't have it. Now you have 14 seconds left. Now it's a real gamble to go over the middle to the point you might lose the game. Because it's almost like they're probably going to be playing softer coverage and giving up more over the middle to prevent the outsides. So you can take that and hopefully get into field goal range on this next play and go run up and spike the ball all within 14 seconds. You better be fucking tight operationally. I'm not saying that it's impossible, but it's a risk to do that. Now, I mean, what alternative? At this point, it is what it is. This play would have been the one, I think. Like, at this point, if you had a completion right here, he went down at their 40 or 35 or whatever, you have almost 15 seconds to get down there. It's pretty safe to say you can do that. I would have gone over the middle on this play.
The receiver right had fallen down. Rudolph was, I guess.
Hindsight's 20/20, right? But this is the way I'm thinking about it. And they don't have this much time to think about it, when you're coaching a football game live.
It's the closest to it. 14 seconds left.
Yeah, I think that he's trying to, that was a timed throw. He's trying to get it in there to Jarius Wright. Wright falls coming out of it, thinking maybe they can get one on the boundary and catch it and then still have another play. Yeah, clearly New Orleans is going to do all they can to keep this ball funneled back to the field.
And this is that feeling in Minnesota in that stadium where it's like you feel like you lost the game almost, right? As a fan, it's like, damn, we lost, kind of. But we have a small chance. So you're still holding out hope. Like, there's like, oh, please make something happen. But you feel like it's over, right? It's kind of like, the energy is, it's a weird energy at these moments, I feel like.
Now timeout.
Third and final charge timeout. New Orleans.
Taken by the Saints.
Interesting decision, right? I mean, let's say they do get into field goal range. You don't want to ice them.
I said this earlier, the largest league.
I think icing's a fucking myth anyway. It's a superstition. Like, it's like, whatever. Some guys are going to be better if you ice them. Some guys are going to be worse if you ice them. But you're giving the guy 2 kicks. But, the pressure, it just depends. And you don't know, right? That's not public information. Whether or not Kai Forbath is, a pressure kicker or not. Like, what these internal conversations look like. I mean, you can kind of gauge it based on his previous kicks, but,
Franchise's postseason history given up in a loss for the Vikings, 14 points. This would eclipse that. And the largest deficit overcome for a postseason win for the Saints in their franchise history is 10 points.
This is part of the reason that I don't like analytics in football and in basketball and sports in general too much. Because analytics can aid in judgment, but these are all judgment calls. Guys, these are all gut decisions. At the end of the day, there is no right answer, right? Yes, one answer might be statistically more, whatever, but these are humans you're dealing with. You're people managing, right? You're managing people. You're dealing with, personnel that these guys all have their own specific skill sets and personalities. It's not going to perfectly match up with the statistics on a broad scale like that. You have an individual team, an individual on your team. These are all judgment calls. It's about what's defensible, what's leading to your team's success, not what's leading to the statistical success of everybody or your team in the past and other situations that may not line up perfectly with this situation. These are judgment calls. You got to have a feel for the game. That's the only way to go.
The Saints franchise started in 67, 1-6 in the playoffs on the road.
Saw Drew Brees. He can hardly stand to watch. Pacing over there on the side. I know the feeling.
Keenum gets his and throws incomplete. And more pressure. Sheldon Rankins came through. And now 10.
And now you're really just you're out of luck, because you have to go outside at this point. They know they're sitting on it. It's gonna be tough to win this game.
Seconds remain in what could be a heartbreaking loss for the Vikings and a thrilling come from behind win for the Saints. Winner goes to Philly.
See that Sheldon Rankins, and they run a twist inside, and they want to try to get a shot. You're going to see what the Saints are doing. They get these guys down here. They're going to try to funnel everything in, and that's the short side of the field. And so,
Look at this. I mean, this is what I'm talking about, right? This is what they're doing. This could be a fucking touchdown. I mean, look at that, right? They gotta beat one or, he's got to beat one or two guys, really. I mean, look, it's possible, it's doable, and they don't have I mean, they're gonna have an angle, but you got blockers. But look at that. That's why it's going to be hard, man, because you got to complete these balls out here with extra defenders. And they know that if you do this, the game's over.
figuring to save time, that's going to be where Keenum's going to try to work the ball on the boundary.
Keenum steps into it. Pass is caught. Diggs, sideline, touchdown. Unbelievable. Vikings win it.
Yo, throwing the helmet is crazy. That's fucking lit, bro. I mean, wow, bro. Wow.
see Marcus Williams here. He has a shot. I'm not sure really what he's thinking, Joe. He comes in, he's got him dialed in, and he just all he's got to do is make a play. And even if he catches it, you tackle him in bounds, the game is over.
Yeah. All right, so I want to break this play down, but this is a coverage breakdown, obviously.
I know Diggs, he's catching this, he's expecting
I mean, you're turned around. What are you doing?
somebody to hit
Oh, dude, you are the last line of defense. All you got to do is bring him down. What are you trying to do?
him. And he turns around, heck, nobody's there. And he's off to the races, and it's pandemonium.
61 brilliant yards for Stephon Diggs.
You bring him down inbound there, and the game is over. You don't even need to try to break the pass up aggressively. Not only do you not get in phase and try to break the pass up, but you dive at his ankles like, there's nothing down there, man. Oh, my God. That is a big, big slip up that probably he's going to live with for the rest of his life.
And Case Keenum has just taken the Minnesota Vikings to the NFC Championship game.
And I'm not wishing that upon him, right? The DB. I'm just saying, like, it's a travesty, man. That sucks.
In a game none of us will soon forget.
He can't even believe it, dog. Like, that's crazy.
By rule, they got to kick this. They got to kick this extra point. I don't know how they're going to get that done. Case Keenum cannot believe it, nor can anyone else.
It's a stupid rule, right? It's a stupid rule. They got to kick that extra point. Fuck that extra point. The game's over. What's going to happen? Either they hit it, or, you know what I mean? Like, you can't score 6 points on an extra point. The defense can't. I think the best thing that can happen is they take it back for 2, right? A safety on an extra point is 1 point for the defense. And that's, like, never happened, I don't think.
I just simply don't know what Marcus Williams was thinking for a guy who's had such a great career. I mean, excuse me, a great year
That's tough, bro.
here in his rookie season, but
That's tough. All right. Well, that's the video. Minneapolis Miracle. Hell of a moment in football. But all right, man. Peace and love.